Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you guys are watching. This is Marquis Walker, man. We here with the Passive Podcast. This is episode, I believe it's 18. Juan, aka Big Sexy, my co-host, is not in the building tonight. He might pop up. I think he might be showing up now. There's a guest coming now, but hopefully he comes soon. I don't know what's going on. I think he's working or something's going on. But he'll be back soon. If he's not back today, he'll be back today. I got a special guest today. I love talking about different subjects, and this is a really passionate subject to my heart, real estate. This is, I've been talking about passive income. This is why I got the Passive Podcast. It's like it's telling people that we need to be able to sleep and develop income. You know what I mean? So let me introduce Christopher Johnson, real estate consultant, and his company is called Your Partner Chris Real Estate. Welcome, Christopher. How you doing? How's it going?
Marquis, I'm good. How you doing today? Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
I appreciate you coming, man. I'm just like in the chat, my man Keith Jones. He's another guy. He's a friend of mine, real good friend of mine. He's actually a homeowner. He actually a homeowner twice, and then he's thinking about doing something else again. So he'll add some value to the conversation as well. So let's get into it, man. I'm gonna invite this guest in. Let me see who this guest is real quick. Oh, it is Drew. Oh, my cousin Drew. Andrew, what's going on, brother?
Drew, how you doing?
This is Drew. Drew, this is Christopher, man.
Yeah, we met.
Yeah, Christopher. I'm like, I keep forgetting, like you family.
You call me Chris or CJ, it's fine. You don't gotta call me Chris.
Yeah, Christopher. All right.
Yeah, we good.
We'll do Chris then. But what's up, Drew? How's it going?
Yeah, not too bad, man. Just getting home. How you guys doing there?
I'm good.
I'm gonna ask some questions. I know there's gonna be some questions eventually. Like I said in the chat, Andrew's gonna probably ask some questions. My first question, Chris, to you is with this COVID thing going on, we got COVID versus non-COVID real estate. Like, what's the huge difference? What's the pros and cons of what's been, I guess, the difficulty for you?
Okay. So before COVID, I mean, things were pretty good. Actually, when COVID hit, we probably hit like a standstill for probably about a week, maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Let's just say at max 3 weeks. And it just was kind of like it was an adjustment. Okay, how do we adapt to this? Once the governor deemed that real estate was essential, at this point, we're like, okay, how do we adapt? So most agents and brokerages just, we followed the rules of, at that point, we were wearing gloves, masks, going in separately, maybe sending a client in. So we just had to make the adjustment. I think that one of the key factors that kept people in the game or still looking for properties were the interest rates remained low and actually came even lower. So that kept people motivated. And again, I think a lot of information was mixed up as far as like, shutdowns and who's open and who's not. I just think that confusion made those buyers that were still motivated say, hey, look, if, the 7-Eleven is open, if, Domino's Pizza is open, we're going to keep, working and looking. So a couple clients, again, they kind of were hesitant, then again, we put in protocols in place where, again, we would have gloves, masks, limit the amount of people going in. We're not doing group showings. We're going to do individual showings. And then we just kept rolling. And it was a pretty successful year for me. So someone else's experience may have been different, but yeah, it actually got better as time went on,
Yeah. So can you, let's rewind a little bit. Mm-hmm. Give us a little bit of insight on who you are and how'd you get into real estate and why you're so passionate about it.
Got you. Well, I'm Chris Johnson from Boston, Mattapan area. I'm also EMT for the city of Boston. I dispatch, and I got involved in real estate. This is something I was passionate about early on, but due to certain life circumstances, it kind of got on the back burner. So I say around 2015, 16, I just said, okay, I got to take this a little more serious and bring it to the forefront. So, that's when I went and got my real estate license, connected with the broker, Willie Mandrell, the Mandrell Company. and just started, learning the real estate business, and just, putting myself in position so that I can better serve, my clients. And I think that was a key part for me, really understanding the real estate business, the multi-family investment business, so that I can, it's what I wanted, but I also felt like it's a huge teaching point to help other people get in position where they're realizing the value of real estate and the value of multifamily investing, and how they can literally, increase their income, substantially just by investing and putting more of their money back into their pocket,
Yeah. Drew, any questions before I keep jabbing off at the mouth?
Well, I mean, obviously, I think real estate is one of the things you always hear. My mother repeats that constantly, property. I mean, I got some property down south. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing on it. It's just like acres of land. But I'm trying to figure out like the best route to go before. I know there's people interested in it, but I feel like it's one of those things that over time is going to be, more expensive than selling it to them right now,
Yeah. I mean, if you could hold on to it and it's working for you, hold on to it. Like you said, what area?
Down Atlanta.
Atlanta. Okay, you're in the heart of Atlanta. The land?
I always forget the town.
Okay.
I got the deeds in my city. It's definitely in like, it's not like the city. It's more like country, because it's property belonged to my dad, back in the day. So it's mine now.
Got you. Is it a developing around it? Like the immediate areas are developing, or is it just?
Yeah, I mean, I think like my section is like there, and I think most of it around it is like, people are building houses,
Yeah.
Like the people that want it, I know they want it because they want to build on it,
Build on it. Yeah. That's interesting. How many acres?
Like 1.5.
Okay, that's a sizable lot there. And is just one lot, or does it consist of several lots?
Yeah, well, my lot is actually next to my cousin. Like, she has a house there, but my lot's just right now, I think it's really just trees,
Got you.
Literally.
So I'm saying that acre that you have, is it broken down into different lots, or different plots, or?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, that's cool. So you got some value there. You just got to figure out what you're gonna do with it.
Yeah. Drew, you ever go down there and see it for yourself?
Nah, that's something I've been trying to do. Like, Krishanda, like she's down there, so she sent me like videos of it. But that's like that's my to-do list, when COVID, all this stuff kind of dies down.
Gotcha. Have you tried Google, the Google Earth? Have you tried?
Yeah, I did it that way.
Okay, so it has trees and whatnot on it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's good. That's good stuff, though. I mean, look, you own it. It's just a matter of being strategic about it, and there's no rush. As long as you're able to manage it, maintain it, and keep it with you or in the family.
Yeah.
Sometimes guys, I'd like to introduce. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Background. I'm doing some construction. I'm renovating my home office now, so I got cups from the contractors and all stuff out over there. So, excuse the background.
No, don't worry about it, man. Hey, I want to introduce you guys to Keith Jones. Of course, Andrew knows him, Drew knows him, but Christopher, this is Chris. This is Keith. This is a good friend of mine, Keith Jones, and Christopher.
How you doing, man?
Brother, he's just a good friend too. He's my real estate agent, basically.
Okay.
So, Keith, you got any questions before I start blabbing off?
Yeah. Where's a good place to buy a 2-family house right now? I've been looking, and I really haven't seen anything.
So I mean, that's a tough question. That's a tough question. I mean, just depending on what affordability, what you're looking to do. I mean, right now, 2 families, 3 families are going at a premium right now. So it's tough to get into them. It's doable, but it's just a matter of just being patient, finding the right property, and then if it's something you really want, just being aggressive as you can with your purchase, as long as it's within your budget. And if it's something you're like, hey, I would like to have this, but I'm not, too crazy about it, but you willing to put an offer in on, then you can be a little more conservative. But properties I put in an offer on a property, 50,000 over. We didn't even get the bid, so it's buyers are being aggressive. One, rates are low. Then you have investors buying, seasoned investors, but then you also have, income households where they're like, okay, we can afford to pay a little more because what we're going to pay for our portion of the mortgage is a lot cheaper than what we were paying for rent. So it's just, the competition is pretty stiff out there.
Okay.
Yeah. But I mean, what you're looking for, 2-family? What area are you interested in?
Well,
where are you at with your pre-approval? South Shore.
Mm-hmm.
How far down the South Shore line?
I work in Boston, but not too far. I'm like Stoughton, Randolph.
Okay.
Nobody.
I actually I just got a 2-family under contract in Randolph. I'm the listing. I was a listing agent, and it was actually on there for a while, surprisingly. But we ended up getting it under contract. So yeah, they're out there. Are you currently working with an agent?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So I mean, it's just as far as the best place. I like the South Shore. I know the South Shore well. I know the North Shore as well, but I know the South Shore a lot better just because I frequent there. I'm in the South Shore, but yeah, it's just a matter of being in. Some people think, oh, you're saying this to get your commission, a higher commission. I'm like, if you like the property and it's going to work for you financially, you have to be aggressive. If not, you're going to be shopping for a long time. And right now, there are a lot of properties out there, but there are not a lot of great property out there, in my opinion, that are just turnkey ready to move in. And if they are, they're going to be at a premium.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. Yeah, that's what I told. I saw some, and they were.
Yeah. I'm sure the agent probably told you that too. Like, you got to be aggressive in this market.
Oh yeah, I will be, but I will be, but
still, I'm being a little more conservative right now.
Yeah.
Marquis saw it. Remember we were going out, we putting offers in, like there was something you get outbidded, and then 1 week, we were able to get in the contract. But yeah, you got to be aggressive, and it as a buyer's agent, it's tough to say that, because you want to get them a deal, you want to get it, but right now it's not the market for that right now, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm. All right, thanks, man. Thanks.
Yeah.
Hey, Melanie Gainey just joined us. Melanie, like I said, I'm giving everybody options to ask questions. If you have any questions right now, or this is Christopher, or you call him Chris. He's my real estate agent.
Hi, Chris. How you doing?
Pretty good.
That's good.
So I'll say at least let's. I don't know if did you put your recent situation out there, Marquis? I don't want to just throw it out there if you kind of under the radar with it.
No, I was gonna announce it today anyway on this podcast.
Okay. So I'm gonna keep it light.
I mean, you can say it. I mean, yeah, I finally closed on the house on the 6th, January 6th. So I'm a homeowner of a 3-family unit in Brockton. So I'm a landlord now. So that's what's up.
Yeah.
And my mortgage is only for what I pay. I'm not gonna say what my mortgage is, but what I pay for rent is $50 a month. So it went from $1,500 to $50. So $1,500 to $50 a month. So it's a huge pro. It's a huge pro from buying a home. You know what I was gonna ask you, Chris? So when purchasing a home, right? Because I was going through it with you. What should people avoid? What are the major things people should avoid?
Overspending outside of their budget. I think that's depending on what you're buying. If you're buying a single family or multifamily, first things first, figure out what you can afford, what you want to spend out of your pocket, whether it's a single or multi, right? Let's say you want to get into a multifamily. Okay, I want my portion to be no more than $1,500, $2,000. Okay, what does that look like as a price point? What does that look like for the rental units, and just really getting that piece down, so that way when it is time to put a bid in, we can run the numbers. I'll connect with the lender, or your agent connects with the lender. They run the numbers and say, okay, is this comfortable for you? And if so, then you can go ahead and put your bid in. The last thing I want is for me to work with the client, get them into a property, and then 6 months later, 8 months later, they're in foreclosure, or approaching foreclosure because they're behind on their mortgage and they literally went at the top of their budget. So just try to shop within your budget. And I've had clients like, oh, I don't want to move in this area. I'm like, this area, investment-wise, is a great area to invest in. The rents are there. The taxes and insurances, the taxes are reasonable. And this is where your budget is. But, everybody wants to be in the Boston market, which I can't blame them. But, for a 3-family, $1.2 million I was looking at today. in Roxbury and in Mattapan. I'm just like, those numbers are tight. If you can get at a better rate, then it's worth it. But you know, those numbers are tight at that point. So just stay within your budget. You know.
I'd like you to explain the difference between is it FDA loan and the conventional loan?
Okay, the FHA loan.
FHA loan.
Yeah, I'm with you. The FHA loan and the conventional loan. The difference is there's a couple different type of FHA loan is a federally backed loan, right? The federal government is backing the loan to the actual lender. So you can put as low as 3.5% down on the property, right? So whatever that sale price is, you put down 3.5%. If it's a single or single, all the way up to a full family, you can buy on an occupancy loan. And what the government stands, you can put down 3.5%. As long as you occupy this. But if you're not going to occupy, they're going to require you to put more down, just because it's just the program that they have. The conventional loan is also on the occupancy loan, but if your credit rate is, I think it's about 700 or higher, let's say 700, somewhere around 750, then you will put down a little more, but the requirement, the restrictions are a little more lenient. So, for instance, if you're using an FHA loan, and you want to buy a property, but this property needs some work. You know, it has chip paint, it has no railings in the hallway, or an FHA appraiser is going to come in and say, okay, before you buy this house, these things need to be fixed. And with a conventional loan, the appraiser will just come in and assess the value of the home as is, and then it's not as they don't restrict those small things to where you can't get the loan, or they won't say, hey, you have to fix this first before you move in. So sellers tend to lean towards conventional loans more because they know they're not going to go through those strict requirements. But either way, both of them are good products. They both work. And with the FHA loan, at least you're able to negotiate certain things just based off of the requirements. And then you can negotiate other things in as well.
Oh, that's what's up. Melanie, I know you just joined us. Do you have any questions so far, or?
Is it better to go through a realtor than like Trulia or Zillow?
Well, the thing about Trulia and Zillow, I like that question. A lot of people don't realize this is Zillow is pretty much a marketing site for homes, but also real estate agents. So an agent will pay to market themselves on Zillow. So you go look at a property on Zillow, you're like, hey, I want to see this. That agent that you most likely connected with, if it's not the listing agent, that agent is paying to be there. So that's one way to connect with an agent. But I always feel like word of mouth always travel fast, and referral. I get a lot of referral business. So I would always say connect with an agent that maybe someone can refer to you. That way he has more of a tie to you and has I think more of an interest in making sure you have a pretty good experience, because he has to explain to the person that referred you why something went south if something goes south. So yeah, I mean, I think it's good to always connect with an agent that's that you can get a referral for.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Are you in the market, or are you thinking about getting into it?
I've looked at a couple of condominiums, but yeah, that's it.
Okay. Is it, just out of curiosity, what is your draw to this condominium? Because I always find condominiums. I have a client now. We were running around looking at condos since July, and then we saw one single family, and then we put the offer in, and we got the offer accepted for the single family. We ran around all summer with looking at condos, and then he eventually went to a single family. It was just, I'm always wondering what buyers thinking. Buyers thinking is when it comes to condos.
Keith, you own a condo. You can tell.
I own a condo now. I'm trying to get out of it.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because my condo fees went sky high. Number one.
Oh.
Put a roof on the building, and also trying to get a multi-family house for me and my daughter to move into. So
gotcha. What area is the condo in?
Condos in Quincy.
Quincy, okay. Yeah, condos are tough. I think they're great for people for buyers or owners who really don't want to be too hands-on with the property, as far as exterior maintenance and things like that. But that's the catch. They put an assessment on the property where they're like, we got to do the roof, or we got to do windows over, or something like that. Now your condo fee went from $200, which drew you in because it was low. Now it's $600. Your mortgage goes up now, and now you're trying to offload the condo, and no one wants to buy it because the condo fees are too high. Yeah. So I don't, people want to buy what they want to buy, but I'm always leery with saying, okay, here are the pros and cons about purchasing a condo. Buying a single family home, a multifamily has their pros and cons also, but that's just one of the things about buying a condo, as you see.
Yeah, well, I was going to say one more thing too, and also the tax in Quincy went up $300 and something on me too. So
yeah,
that too. You know what I mean? I was like, oh, it's just cool. It was cool with the condo fee and the mortgage.
It
goes up $351 on me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now I'm up to too high. You know what I mean? So now I want to go back to a house because of that. I'll break and shovel. I kind of enjoy doing it,
Yeah. You're like, the condo fee, I haven't done anything to the building. What am I paying for?
Yep, exactly.
And then so I agree with you there. Condos are tricky, and you have to know what you're getting into with condos, and then there's the bylaws and what you can and can't do, because you might say, hey, look, let me rent this condo out. I can at least try to earn some income, maybe regroup, stay with a family member or something. But then certain condos, the associations say, okay, well, only 20% of the condos can be rented. 20% is already rented out, but you can't rent your condo. And so,
Good to know.
Yeah, it's all kinds of, it's tricky with condos, Again, they're great if
they
they
house, Melanie.
Yeah,
noted, Keith.
Condos, yeah. And what are the other things when it comes to condos? That was a huge thing, and some of them, in order to purchase a condo with an FHA loan, that condo association has to be on a certain list, and they can apply to be on that list, and most likely they'll be granted. But if it's not on the list, then you're out of luck there. And then they also have to be majority owner occupied. So let's say if there's 10 units, five or six of them, I don't remember what number, just depend on the loan, I believe. It has to be majority owner occupied.
Oh wow!
Also, the condo association has to have a certain amount of equity, a certain amount of money in there.
Yeah, in their reserve.
It's a whole bunch of crap. It's a whole bunch of craziness.
Yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot. And I mean, and if you get into a condo that's maintained well, then you're probably going to have to pay a little more for the condo fee, because they want to make sure that reserve has money in it. You get into a condo like, well, we don't have anything in reserves, but the condo fees are $200. Okay, you guys are just getting by. You're just trying to pay maintenance to take care of it. What happens when it is time to put a roof on, or you're trying to do the windows, or something has to be done collectively, there's that condo fee going right up,
And
So
they won't give you the loan either if they don't have enough reserves in the if the condo association doesn't have enough reserves, they won't give you the loan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So they were bugging them for that.
Yeah, you're like, I can get into this and create my own problems on my own.
Exactly.
Hey Chris, we got Drew over there quiet. I know why he is. He just told us he owns land. And he's been on here trying to find a lady, man. So we gotta find, now that we know we got land, money, all this stuff, all the ladies should be flocking. So what advice can you give Andrew, man, Drew, man, because all the ladies gonna be on him because he got that land. You know what I'm saying? How do you take care of that land?
Bet him out. That's all I can say. I don't know. I don't own any land, so I don't have those problems. In the land, I mean, that's a prime place. I would have been down there checking it out, seeing what the what the neighborhood is, what the neighborhood's like around there, and what they're offering for it, and just kind of because you might be able to build on it. The best thing about owning land is if you want to go to a bank and you really don't have your debt to income is not that crazy. They'll loan you the money to build a house on the land. But if you're like a buyer who's like, hey, I want to go buy a plot of land and then build a house on it, that's a little more complex unless you have a developer who owns the land and is going to package it together and sell it to you all together. So you're halfway there when it comes to the land piece.
Okay.
A whole acre too. You know, acre up here. You know what that's worth? Atlanta. Yeah. That's good, man.
I was saying, like, there's a house across the street from me they're trying to sell. It's a 2-family, but Duffy's not worth it. Trying to sell it for it. That's why it's been on the market for so long.
What they want for that house?
They want 1 point something for that house.
What?
Yeah. You should. I've seen it. I've been in the inside. All that. It's not worth it. I'm in Roxbury.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh yeah, right. Roxbury. Yeah,
that sounds about right. Yeah. That was gonna sit. I don't see what area in Roxbury.
Right over here off of Warren and Blue Hill.
Yeah, where that McDonald's is at.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 1.2 is tough there. I mean, they have one on Bragdon Street right now, fully renovated. They want 1.2 for, and that's a 3-family. So when listening to property, we look at the comps properties that are similar to that home that we're looking to sell that have sold within 6 months, right? So that's how we kind of gauge what we're going to list a property for. And strictly that, but I also like to take a look, okay, what else is out here? What am I competing with on the market? So if I look at that 2-family and it's 1.2, I can go down towards Bragdon Street and get a 3-family for 1.2. That's a no-brainer. I'm going to go ahead and get more for more value.
Mm-hmm. Hey Chris, speaking of the 2-family, 3-family, just sparked a question for me because I was when we was going back to battle to get me a home, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I was telling you, I was in it for the profit. So meaning like I wanted to get a 3-family and then buy another 3-family, or maybe buy whatever. And then I remember us, talking about buying me buying a 2-family,
mm-hmm.
but I can't go from a 2-family to a 3-family. Now, what was that about again?
Well, you can if you're going to put more money down. So essentially, when you're buying a 3-family home, right, it's considered with an FHA loan or like a own occupancy loan. Let's just call it. The theory is if you own a 3-family, you're going to live there, and then say you want to go buy another 3-family. Okay, you can't buy it within that immediate area because that now becomes you can buy it in that immediate area. You're just going to have to put around 20 to 25% down, right?
That.
Yeah. So if I like where I own a 3-family here in Brockton. So if I was to buy, which I say there's a 3-family down the street and I want to buy it, the lender's going to say, well, that's an investment property. So now you're going to have to put down 20 to 25% for this property, right? Of several $100,000, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't have that, nor do I want to put that down on the property. But if I seeing that I work in Boston, right? And I find a 3-family in Boston, it's closer to my job, it's closer to my family. They'll say, okay, if you're going to relocate and move here, then it makes sense for you to move here. It's not just for the sake of investment. It's to improve your quality of life. You're moving closer to work. Then they'll most likely approve that loan, added on the occupancy loan, and then now my original property becomes my investment property. Then the taxes might go up if there's their own occupancy. What do you call it? Residential exemption, but we don't have that in Brockton. But essentially, to answer your question. If you buy a 3-family and you're looking to buy another 3-family in the same area, you're going to have to pay more. But you can go down to a 2-family because they're going to say, look, you're looking to improve your quality of life. You're moving from, a 3-unit building to a 2-unit building. Now we'll still do a 3.5, on occupancy loan, 3.5 to 5% down. So essentially, a lot of people who get into it, they go 3, 2, and a 1. Or like me, go from Brockton to Boston. Okay, I can get another 3, then I'll try to do another 2. So just for the sake of trying to put as little money down and to get into it with as little money down.
Tano, any questions?
I got
good. Yeah, good. I was going to ask you if you got any questions. Any pick the panel?
No.
Keith.
I got a question.
Yeah, good.
How much do you have to put down on a 2-family house or a 3-family? Because I thought it was 20% down on the 3.
No, you can get down 2 up to a 4-family. Put down as little as 3.5%.
Okay.
3.5% of the sale price. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but here's the thing: when it comes to a 3-family, and this is the difference between a 2-family and a 3-family, is if you buy a 2-family, right, you can go 3.5% down, and there's other costs that's associated that people don't really. I don't hear. People talking about enough, just so buyers can have a more realistic understanding of what they're going to spend.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 3.5% down of the purchase price, right?
Okay.
Then you also have your inspection fee. You have your appraisal fee.
Yep.
Those two combined can be anywhere between, let's say, $1,200 combined, right? Then you have your closing costs, the fees that the bank charge you to process this loan, and then your attorney fee. Right now, that may run around, depending on where you are, 10 grand total. And that's pretty much, you know, the 3.5 is inspection and appraisal, and then you have your, your finance charges and attorney's fee, and then any other inspection, like if you want to get a lead inspection, or if you got to get some type of specialist in there, then you would have that. So it's not just 3.5% down, but the good part is that closing costs and your upfront tax insurance, you can get you can negotiate that into the sale price. So let's say I offer $600,000. The property is listed for $600,000, right? And I say, okay, I'll give you $610,000 for this property, but I want you, the seller, to give me $10,000 back as a seller. It's called a seller's concession.
Yeah.
To cover my closing costs, which is what the fees at the bank charge, and my prepaid expenses, which are my insurance, my first year insurance, and my taxes. And then they can credit that money towards those expenses. So essentially, you're just going in with the 3.5% down, the inspection, and the appraisal. So it saves you some money there. You're wrapping it into the loan, so you will be paying the taxes on, not the taxes, I'm sorry, the interest on it throughout the duration of the loan. But let's say, you know, if you're at a 4% rate, right now rates are really low, at some point you might refinance and get a better interest rate. So, you know, you'll save some money there down the line. So you just got to really think long term when it comes to real estate investing. And the last thing that the difference between when you're buying a 2 and a 3 family, when you buy a 3 family, you also have to have 3 months of their mortgage in reserve, right? Mm-hmm. So say if your mortgage comes out there, let's just keep it $3,000 a month, right? Yeah. You have to have $9,000 in the bank. So you got 3.5%. You pay all your other expenses that I went over. You also have to have $9,000 in the bank, just to show if you go vacant at, you know, for, you know, 3 months, you at least have that in reserve. Okay. But the other benefit is also when you close on a property, they usually give you a month off. So let's say we close in February 1st, they'll say you won't have to pay until April 1st normally. And that kind of gives you some leeway there as well. So and that's just the difference between buying a 3 and a 2 family. If you buy a 2 family, it's just pretty much the same as a single family. You put your 3.5% down, all the other expenses, and then, you know, it's just a little simpler.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I knew some of that, and some of the stuff I didn't know. Yeah.
Those are the more the intricacies of buying a 3 family. But I think it's worth it. You know, I mean, like Marquis said, you know, going from paying $1,500 to paying $50. I mean, once the leases are up, you bump everybody's rent up $50 to $100. You know, just depending on where the market is. You're down there paying nothing. You know, and maybe just paying a water bill, or even, you know, again, over time, 2-3 years, the property's paying itself and you're generating a profit. You know, and that's what you're living in. You know, if people just say, you know what, I'm going to, you know, rent a room in here or something, you know, $800, $1,000 a month or something like that. You know, now you're generating cash flow on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you think like me, man. Hey, we got a question from Juan Rodriguez in the chat. What are the do's and don'ts about using your home insurance when the house suffers damage, either by weather or by being due to it being owed?
So I think he's asking what are the do's and don'ts of utilizing insurance. Don't use insurance too much if you don't have to, because once you get to, I think, 2 occurrences in a year or 2 years, I'm not really sure the exact time frame. Once you utilize it, the insurance company can pay their claim out and then drop you after they pay the claim. Now you got to go to the market and get more insurance, and then most likely you're going to pay a premium. And I have someone that owns a property. I have a friend that owns a property in Rhode Island, and her, oh man, I'll give it to her because she managed this extremely well. She purchased a property. She was going to, she already had a tenant. You know, she was going to the property to get the tenant to sign a lease. She goes there, and the basement is flooded. Someone broke into the property, stole the tankless water heater, the tankless water heating system, stole a stove, flooded the basement. So now they got a flooded claim, and then she also has the other damage, right? She had to deal with the adjusters, the whole thing. Mind you, the tenant was on the way to the house, to sign a lease. She's like, wait a minute, don't come. I got to deal with some things. But she was able to get it all taken care of. The tenant moved in, like a month later. And, but yeah, it was 2 claims. So they ended up dropping her. She went into a higher risk pool. And then another insurance company had to pick her up, and she had to pay more insurance. But that's an extreme situation. But yeah, if you use it too much, insurance too much, they can drop you and it goes up. So I think for me, my deductible was $5,000. So anything under $5,000, I'm just gonna deal with and take care of. 5,000 or under. If it's over 5,000, then I'm gonna put a claim on it. And you can go as low as $500 or $1,000, something like that. If the budget's a little tighter. But I just said, look, I'll go 5,000 because I'm not trying to, have to pay a higher insurance than I want to.
Good question. Juan got another question actually. He's saying if you want to buy a 3-family but not to rent out any of the floors, is there a different approach you have to take? So, like, Juan, what do you mean? Like, you have a 3-family, you just don't rent nobody? Is this your house? Is that what you're saying?
You run up and down the stairs. You got a mansion.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, what's your Juan? You got to explain a little bit more, because can you answer that question now, Chris? Because it seems simple. Like, you just don't rent it, you just lose money, right?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have a high mortgage. If you can afford the mortgage, then you're good. If you're gonna buy a 3-family property, you're not gonna rent it out. The bank is going to say, how much can you rent if it's vacant, the bank's gonna say, okay, what's the area market rent, right? And as long as that question actually leads me to some more information to share. So when I'll backtrack to his question. When you buy a 3-family property, right? The property has to pass what you call a self-sufficiency test. I mean, it has to sustain on its own. And just to keep it simple, 100% of the rent has to cover, 100% of the income from the property, including all 3 units, has to cover 75% of the mortgage. So you need that 25% cushion, so that you can cover other expenses like water bill, anything else that comes up. So if you purchase the property and the other 2 units are already leased out, those rents need to be at a rate where it's going to pass that self-sufficiency. If you buy a property and it's fully vacant, they're going to look at the area market and see what a 2-bedroom or 3-bedrooms renting for, and then that'll excuse me, I'm drawing a blank. Let me backtrack a bit. So it just has to pass self-sufficiency. That's what I'm getting at. So they'll look at the area market rents and they'll say, okay, it's $1,700 for a 2-bedroom. This works, and they'll be able to do it. But at the end of the day, to answer his question, if you buy a 3-family and you're not renting it out, they're still going to look at what the units can rent for. You're just stuck with footing the bill.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You're just stuck with footing the bill.
Hey, Chris, I met you at a wedding. My uncle, married your mother. Yeah. So we're pretty much kin now, right? So let me get some money. Nah, I'm just kidding. Let me get a loan now. No.
But low interest rate loans that I got going on.
Exactly. But I was wondering, like, the biggest question, and I probably can answer, but I want you to answer. What's the reason behind people not taking that first step? What do you think people are so afraid of to own property and make money off real estate?
That's a great question. I think it's just a responsibility. When I speak to clients who want to buy a single family or even a condo, they're like, I don't want to be a landlord. They're afraid of that landlord piece, which is understandable. I mean, it is a risk, but I think it's just that it's fear. They don't want to become a landlord, and it's just not for them. They feel it's not for them. That's what my experience has been. And I've had clients that say, yeah, I want to go with a 3-family or a 2-family, shopping for multifamily, and they just get impatient, or they just like, you know what, I got to be out by this time. And then they're like, screw it, let's just go with a single family. You know, I'm just like, well, those are, you know, if you're an investor, you want to be an investor, you have to go through the process. You have to be patient because it will change your financial situation almost immediately. I mean, when I close, I'm just gonna put myself out there. When I closed, you know, I closed in the middle of the month. I got a half month's rent from both tenants. Then I had a month off, so I collected that rent. And then, you know, so the first time I paid a mortgage, I've already made probably like $5,000 or something like that. It could have been more, you know, before I made any payments on anything, and just making sure I got a decent house that kind of, you know, put me in a better position. I bought it a couple years, refinanced. My mortgage dropped substantially, like $1,000. You know what I mean? $1,000 came off it. Now, you know, the units cover themselves. The other trees cover themselves, and pretty much anything that I make goes to the bank. You know, now it's time to get into the next one.
That's what's up, man. Warren said yes to move and only family members. I don't know if he's saying that's a joke, but I guess he just gonna move in family members or something.
Listen, family, still run that credit, still vet them.
You know,
he probably ain't joking. He's probably serious.
Qualifying process, you know. It's tough. I mean, you know, it's tough. You know, it's tough to say no to family, but you know, you gotta really be about your business, I say, when it comes to getting into investment, because you can really become, there's nothing wrong with being a nice guy or a decent guy. I think I'm a decent landlord. I think I'm a pretty good guy, but I also know that, you know, there's do's and don'ts, and you have to stick to your business plan. You have to stick to making sure your rents are at market. You know, there's nothing wrong with giving a discount as long as it's covering itself, or, you know, it fits within your plan. But, you know, you have to stick to the plan, because at some point you don't want to be upside down and then you're chasing people for money, or, you know, family members will be the first one to tell you, well, I don't have it. Can you do this? And you're just like, come on, you know. So it's tough, you know. Just got to make sure that family member that you bring on board is you know, pays their bill.
Yo, let me tell you something, man. Listen, this is just like, I used to rent with, before owning a home, I used to rent with family members. You know, like you're younger, and then, you know, maybe like, you know, you might, you know, this is funny because like you would think I would move in with the aunt or the uncle. Like there's been occasions that, you know, your uncle moved in with me, or older cousin moved in with me, or something like that, right? And it just never works out, man. I don't know, man, and this is just like getting half your rent. Can you imagine, like, you know, trying to pay the mortgage? You know what I'm saying? So, family.
It's always good to have a cushion too, man, and like to really, when you start out, try to put a little nest egg to the side for when things come up, because things will come up. And a lot of it you can deal with yourself. But it is always good to at least start out that way. That way, when something does come up, you have some money to address it. But you're right, family members, I mean, you know, it's time to kick in the money, and they're sitting up there looking at you, looking at them, you know.
Yo, hey Melanie, I like your T-shirt. You got any questions?
Yes, I do. Thank you. So my question is what's the lowest interest rate for somebody with a credit score of 800 plus that you've seen?
I've had clients with great credit like that. What was the interest rate? I'll just tell you the lowest interest rate that I've seen, probably 2.5%.
Oh,
yeah.
Did I get that?
I got
that on the refinance. That was my rate. I was at 5% when I bought, and then it really dropped in half, 2.5%. So I thought one of the clients this summer, they were at 2.7. I thought that was great, but when I went to do the refi, it was 2.5.
And what if you're a first-time buyer
with 800?
Right.
Yeah, you're still gonna get a great interest rate.
Okay.
Definitely. Yeah. If somebody gives you right now, if someone gives you less than like anything higher than a 3, and that's just being conservative. I think if you get anything higher than like a 2.7, 2.8, you know, you should do some shopping, because I mean, everything I have clients I'm running with now, and rates of 2.5, 2.7, 2.8. No one's, you know, anyone's giving you 3 or higher. I just think. Again, I'm not going to speak for the lender, but there must be something going on with the credit score.
2.5.
So now, in regards to being a first-time buyer, is it do they expect? I mean, I know that it's better to put a down payment on, but is it program still out there that you don't have to put anything down?
I hear of them. I don't know of any. I know NACA is a program where, NACA has a program where you can go zero down. I've connected with NACA. I started working out with someone who was using the NACA program, but I think they just decided not to do it. They didn't really like the way their situation was being handled, just to kind of keep it as vague. So yeah, I know NACA has a zero down program, and I heard it's a really good product, but it's just a process that you have to go through.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, I don't like those NACAs, man. Those NACAs and me don't get along. But yo, I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna go that route to NACA, and it like I just felt like entrapment. Like you got to go do a lot of rules and regulations with them. Like, so when you got zero down, you got to really follow their rules and guidelines. And if they find out that you're doing anything that's not on the contract, you're done. They, you know what I mean? So like, and then it's just the process. It's to each his own. I'm not gonna diss NACA, right? But I'd rather go through a real estate agent, man, because you're actually dealing with a person. You're actually dealing with somebody that's been through it for. Did you say how long you've been doing this, Chris? Because I cut out early, and I'm
on my 4th year. But you're with NACA, you still go through an agent, but you mean you rather go directly to like a mortgage lender or some type of banking, banking institution.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah. I went through Apple. What's the name of Apple? The other one, not NACA, but it's
Apple. I don't know. I don't think it's Apple.
No, there was one on Dorchester Avenue.
I'm not familiar with
like 20 years ago, but they helped me a lot. I mean, I had bad credit. I was all messed. I was all upside down. They helped me get my first house, and I had terrible credit.
Yeah,
it wasn't another program.
How'd you get the house then?
No, the program helped me. It wasn't NACA. It was another program on Dorchester Avenue. They helped me get my house, my first house.
First house.
My credit was horrible. I'm talking about horrible. Everybody.
How long ago was that?
About 20 years ago. They told me. I went in. They told me to they ran my credit. And they told me to pay all my bills on time for 6 months. I came back. They told me save my money. Told me to save $7,000 or something like that. And then they turned back around and said, go look for a house. And I went to look for a house. I got an agent look for a house. And they Citizen Bank came in, crunched some numbers in there, and gave me the loan.
Okay.
It worked out for me, but
it's a different time now. Ever since the market crash in 2008. There were a lot of regulations put in place to, and I'm not speaking on this particular situation because I don't know. There was a lot of predatory lending going on where lenders were, approving people for loans that they really didn't qualify for. There was all kind of things going on. So and that's was pretty much the reason why the market crashed in 2008. So there were a lot of regulations put in place to kind of prevent that. So that's why it seems a little more harder now, but. That was the situation then.
Hey Chris, have you
loans?
Okay. What?
One more time.
I'm sorry.
Look ahead, keep going.
Where can you get the loans for 2.5?
I use private mortgage lenders, mortgage brokers. That's where I got mine from. It was Sierra Pacific. And I also South Shore Mortgage, Mary also was offering 2.5. For a refi. So it just depends on where you go, I've used Citizens. I mean, I have had clients that use Citizens, but as far as like the big banks, like, Bank of America and Citizens, I really don't have much experience with them. I went to them initially because that's who I bank with, Bank of America. They didn't do jumbo loans, and they consider anything over I think $500,000 or $600,000 a jumbo loan, and they weren't servicing jumbo loans at the time.
Yeah, because I'm paying 3.75, and 2.5 would save me some money.
For sure.
Yeah,
for sure. For sure. I think I paid 2.5. I got a couple dollars back, and then the rate dropped substantially. I was like, this is it. And again, when we first came on, Marquis and I were talking about really using your money as a tool. And they were like, look, in order to get this rate, you got to pay your credit card off, pay your car off. And I just had got the car like a year ago. But again, just putting that aside, not really blowing my money, I'm like, okay, this I didn't want to do it because it was a lot of money. I'm like, okay, let me pay this off. Now all of the bills are gone, insurance, taxes, things like that. And I was like, again, that's when I really learned, okay, that's how you use money as a tool. It's going to change your position. It's going to put you in a better position rather than just blowing it. So yeah, refinance is definitely a way to go when it saves you that much money.
Okay, I'm gonna look at that. I'm gonna look into that one because that might.
Yeah, I'll get the information over to Marquis, and I'll send you the guy who refinanced for me, and feel free to reach out to him. He's amazing.
Thanks, man. Yeah, appreciate that.
So I have another question.
Sure.
So when you paid off your car and you paid off your credit card, didn't it like do something to your score? Didn't it like make your score go down?
No, it jumped up.
It jumped. Okay.
It went up. That was the first time I was in 8. I think it went up to like 830. I was at like 789. Like I was bored. I was just like a buddy of mine we made $100 bet. We like whoever hit 800 first, you gotta pay $100. But he already had beat me to it, so I had to pay up. But I was like 7 something. I'm when you finally get your credit straight. I mean, I had poor credit when years ago. I mean, it was bad. But again, I built it up, and so I was just, as soon as I paid it off, I'm just looking daily, just trying to figure out what my score was going to do. And it went up. I know a lot of people say that if you don't have any debt, that
right.
That it is bad, but I carried that debt for a while, and I was always paying consistently. So
okay.
I had, it's only a percentage of your credit score. So I always made payments on time. I made extra payments. So once I did pay it off, it just kind of it bumped it up.
So, all right, guys, it's coming down to the end. Drew, if you got a last question, Drew?
No, I'm good. Just listening, learning,
absorbing the knowledge.
Trying to figure out what I'm gonna do, But I appreciate
I think is the way to go. It's I do think it's for everybody, but not everyone is interested in doing it. And it definitely will. It changed my financial situation. I wasn't in a bad one, but it definitely enhanced it. And my brother, he just got licensed as an agent. We're getting him into a multifamily, and it definitely it helps in so many different ways. You just got to be, find a good agent so that you crunch your numbers. They're putting you in a situation that's going to help you, not really hurt you.
Keith, last question.
I got one more question.
Yeah.
If you refinance, right? Say I go and I can get the loan for I get the refi at 205, and 6 months down the road, let's say 2 or 3 months down the road, I want to sell my house. Is there a certain amount of time I have to stay in my house after I get the refi?
That's a good question for Linda. I've never been asked that. I would think you could. I don't think there's any restrictions in selling, but if there is a restriction in selling, I would think it would have to be like a year and a day. Because usually when you purchase a property with an FHA loan or on occupancy loan, you have to live there a minimum of a year, right? So I'm looking at it in that light. If you were to refi, I would assume you would have to at least stay there a year, but I don't know the answer to that question. So that would be a good question for Linda to answer.
Appreciate it. I'm good. Thanks.
Melanie, last question.
I'm good.
I had a question for Melanie. You definitely when not a question, just a suggestion, and I'm sure your agent is probably give you this information as well. Just when you're shopping for a condo, make sure you read the condo docs. They're tedious. It's sometimes just like it seems redundant, but make sure you read them because you'll get a lot of information from there. And that should be one of the key things that you read, because like Keith said, they'll pull you in. You'll find a new development, a new condo building that has low, condo fees, HOA fees, and it might be that way for 10 years, because the building's new. But then as soon as they need something, an assessment or something on there, the condo fees can go up, and it's sometimes a little hard to get out of a condo. But definitely read those condo docs is extremely important. I know some people don't read the docs, and you got to go over it. It's important.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Hey, my last question. Oh, okay. Somebody say something?
No. Go ahead. I'm in no rush. I'm good.
My last question is: have you completed many foreclosure or short sale transitions?
No, I haven't done any short sales or foreclosures. They take a lot longer, and the reason most of my clients, they're looking to buy in a certain period of time, and usually with foreclosures, sometimes there's more than one lien hold on the bank. So someone may have refinanced or pulled out money of the property, so now there's two loans on it, sometimes even three, and those banks have to sign off on that sale price. So it can take forever. They're not in a rush to deal with that foreclosure, so it can take much longer to do to close on a foreclosure. So the clients that I work with, we weren't really going that route.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna close shop. This is what we usually do, Chris. We go around the horn. I'm gonna start off with Drew again. Either he has something to promote, and I'm gonna keep jabbing at him until he has something to promote. But if he doesn't have nothing to promote, he has to say some kind words. I'm gonna go around. Keith, you'll be next, then Melanie, and then Chris, and then I'm out of here. Then we're signing off. Sign off. Drew.
Yeah, no, like not to promote yet, but obviously, just want to say, good luck to everybody and what they're trying to get into. I actually looked at house up across the street, and looks like on Redfin it dropped to $895.
Oh, that's a huge drop.
Yeah, so just if anybody's curious, 39 Clifford, take a look at it.
Yeah, I'm not with the two. I'm looking for threes or better.
Hey,
right now, who's on
you just told all the ladies where you live, basically. So they gonna come over there because you got the land, you got the condo. I saw you going around. You had like a mansion. It's a man. You in a mansion.
Well, I saw you
walking around. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, next room. Calm down.
All right, Keith, what you got for us, man?
No, I just want to say thank you, Chris, for all the good information, man.
I appreciate it.
Very helpful, man. Yes, a lot of questions I need to have answered, man. Appreciate it, man.
Not a problem, man. I'm glad I can help it.
Yep, appreciate it.
And you guys can still reach out to Keith. I mean, I'm not to Keith. Well, you could reach out to Keith, but you can reach out to Christopher.
I will reach out to you.
Yeah, exactly.
I will. Mm-hmm.
Melanie, you got anything to promote, and you got any kind words for the people?
Yeah, just my apparel on All Inclusive. It's on Facebook. Thank you for coming out, Mr. Johnson. I appreciate it. I know I was a little bit late, but the information that I did hear, it was very informative. So
you showed up. That's what's important. People forget. Don't be late. Sometimes life happens, and sometimes it's showing up. That's all that really matters. So I appreciate you coming in and asking your questions. I like the questions because it's information. I had to ask questions to gain the knowledge that I have. So it's important. Never be afraid to ask.
Chris, what I adore and what I want to highlight. I don't know if I guess I'm pretty sure you feel comfortable with it. But can you tell the people that your condition, and then tell them how hard you work? You work harder than anybody I know. I'm telling you, this guy works as an EMT, right?
Yeah, I'm an EMT.
And then you sell like probably 2-3 houses a month or something like that. It's insane. But if they knew more about you, they'd probably be more impressed. Is that what you see what I'm trying to get to?
I'm with you. So what he's saying, I am an EMT for the city of Boston. I dispatch. I work overnight. So once I get out of work, I did not run my real estate business. But what he's getting at, when I was 20, I'm 30. I'll be 38 next month. But when I was 23, I got shot and paralyzed. I'm a T12 paraplegic. So I went through a whole process, a whole rebirth, and just really trying to get back into my lane. So it took me some time. I was out of work for about a year. I started doing different training programs, and then I finally was able to get on with. I took the EMT course through the city of Boston. I battled the state for about a year. They didn't want to license me. Then we came to an agreement. So then I took the EMT dispatcher course, and I've been doing that for about 10, 11 years now. So about 3 years ago, I was just like, I really want to get serious about real estate. And then I just jumped into that. And even one of my guys, I play wheelchair basketball. And one of my, actually a really good friend of mine, an older guy, he plays ball, and he's like, not to he said not to, to put you down, but how the hell are you gonna sell houses, in a wheelchair and with stairs and all? I said, I'm just gonna have to figure it out, just like anything else, So I'll get, I'll have people, sisters, brothers, cousins, whoever wants to learn and be a part of this. And we're in and out of the house, from the basements to the, the third floor, around the property. We working, we figuring it out. Yeah. And people all say, "Oh, you're so amazing." I'm just like, it's better than being broke. You know what I mean? That's the alternative. What do I do? Sit at home and just complain, or and I take my hat off to the people that support me, and like Marquis. It's not easy. I'm sure when people are like, "Oh, you do real estate," how is he going to show me? And I appreciate the clients that put their trust in me to be able to get them through the process, give them the information, and help them get into their homes. And I take my hat off to my team that believe in me, that helped me get into the properties. And people think it's embarrassing. I'm like, I'm out here to get it, just like any and everybody else. So the moment you assume that wheelchair is my limitation, that's where you lost. You know what I mean? This is just someone broke a leg, or
what's funny? When I first met you at the wedding, I didn't really. The funny thing is, I never even thought about it. Like, I remember you told me real estate. I said, "Yo, I'm gonna use you." He's like, yeah. You probably was thinking, this guy, he seemed crazy at the wedding. You know what I'm saying? So he might not do it, but I followed through.
You were actually motivated.
I followed through, and I for some reason, just like talking to you and seeing the passion in your eyes and in your voice, I said, "Yo, this dude's serious. I'm gonna mess with this dude." You know what I'm saying? And then I went through you, and the funny thing is, the first time we went to our house, I wasn't thinking until you got out the car, and I go, "Oh snap! How's he gonna get upstairs?" But because I never thought about it. But then I go, I saw you get upstairs. I'm like, this dude's amazing. This dude's amazing. Like, and no one should have an excuse not to accumulate passive income or do something else they love, no matter what condition they're in. And you know what I'm saying? I was like, I was like, yo, I'm proud of you, man. Like, you probably don't know what I was talking about. I'm just like, yo, I see you. Every time I see him, I'm looking at you. He's like, yo, this dude's dope, because I don't know what I would have done. Maybe I would have gave up. Maybe some other people would have gave up, but you didn't. You know what I'm saying? And stories like that need to be told. You know what I'm saying? So people can have some type of influence. Maybe they have something going on. Maybe a facial situation or something. But you know what I'm saying? We're wearing masks now, baby. Get outside and do something. You know what I mean? But I just love your passion and love that you work hard. And that I just want to honor and to say thank you, man, for what you're doing, and thank you for helping me out, take those necessary steps to actually buy a home, and give me that push. You gave me a couple pushes, you know what I'm saying? I was scared, I was on the ledge, like anyone else trying to buying a home or wanting to be being a landlord, right? So I took the initiative, and I just want to thank you, man, from the bottom of my heart, man. You're a great dude, a great man, you know what I'm saying? And and a great real estate consultant, man. Can you give your information? I'm gonna put it in the description, but you want to shout out your information so people can find you on social media or wherever?
Absolutely. I appreciate that. It is a humbling experience. I think I've always tried to push myself regardless of the situation, because I know there were guys that when I got injured, they pulled me under their wing, and they was like, "Look, regardless of your situation, you still can get it how you need to get it." And God rest their soul. His name was Mac Williams and Kenny Mumford. I mean, they were solid.
Kenny Mumford, I know Kenny Mumford.
Kenny. So yeah, Kenny's no. He had a manual chair. He brought me the wheelchair ball. He had his bowl.
Okay. I know Kenny Mumford. Yeah,
he was a man. You probably still know him. And that's what inspired me. And then I just took it as a baton to just say, you know what, you got to do the same thing. You got to take it to the next level, and going through that EMS experience, having to go through with the state and just really pushing myself through, these boundaries, and just really, really pushing that's what really, I feel like, made me really realize, like, you can really do anything once you really put your mind to it and you dedicate yourself to it. So I do appreciate that acknowledgement. I don't use the wheelchair as an excuse. I don't, half the time I'll be, I don't even think about it, until someone brings it up. And so yeah, I appreciate clients, man. I had an extremely successful year this 2020, and I'm just like, why do people choose me over any other agent, you know, considering this, but I know I bring value to them, and I try to be as honest as I'm honest, I'm direct, and I give them information. I have no problem seeking out information and getting it back to them so they can make an informed decision, you know. And in the situation, you're like, you know, everybody, I mean, everyone who buys a 3-family, unless they really experienced, they're nervous, you know. It's that whole piece. But I'm versed in it. I'm just like, look, we're good. Let's just, you know, let's get you there, and then, you know. So yeah. So my broker is the Mandrell Company. Willie Mandrell is my broker. I run under the Mandrell Company, but I also I run with my own brand. It's Your Partner Chris Real Estate. My email address is chris@yourpartnerchris.com, and that's YOUR partnerchris.com. And for me, I just feel like, you know, this is any client that I work with is a partnership. I'm not just here to sell you a house. I'm here if you need to get it rented out. You know, I'm here to help you get the right tenants in there, screen them. I'm here. This is a relationship that we'll build, you know, through the course of your, you know, your investment career. You know, my resources are your resources. My plumbers and any resource that I have, I extend them to my clients just to make sure that their you know, their investment career is as successful as it can be, and that's where we came up with the brand. And my website is www.yourpartnerchris.com, and again, my email, chris@yourpartnerchris.com. I appreciate you having me, Marquis, and sharing this opportunity. Drew, Keith, as Melanie.
Yes.
Melanie, I appreciate you as well. You all's questions, and yeah, feel free to reach out. You got any questions? And again, thanks, Marquis. I appreciate that, and I appreciate the love, man.
Hey, man, Chris, that's what it's for. These guys already know, man. I try to get local people that we know that we don't know to get so we can know to have some type of connections and reconnect with the community, man. That's basically what this is for. Yeah. It's basically like to get people off their butts, man, to make that passive income and to, you know, or to just just to be happy. Get out there and be happy. Find a way to be happy somehow, even if it has nothing to do with money and stuff like that. That's why we do this, and that's why I do this, and that's why I started this podcast. So
it's good stuff, man. Good stuff. Keep going, man.
You know. All right, guys, man. That was a great show, man. I really appreciate it, man. Drew, Melanie, Keith, Juan in the comments. Keith was in the comments.
Thanks, Juan, for
yeah.
Melanie, just think about the multifamily investor. It will change. It helps. It will change the financial situation. You know.
Thank you.
Just doing it the right way. That's all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, guys, man. Salute, man.
Peace
out,
man. Keep up the good work, man. Keep up the good work.
All right.
Man.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, man.
Yes, sir.
What up? All right, Chris, man. I mean, Chris. All right, Keith, man. I'm getting out of here too, man.
All right, man.
But thanks for coming by, man. For real, man. You was kind of like a co-host. All y'all my co-hosts. One big sexy couldn't make it tonight, but you know. Appreciate it, man.
Good. That was great, man. I'm gonna have to talk to you. I'm gonna talk to your boy too, man. I got some more questions to ask him, but we'll talk about it.
All right, well, I'm gonna end the live though,
okay,
yo. So
end the thing, man.
All right, guys, man. Peace out, yo. Like, subscribe, comment, you know what I mean, and share the video. You know, and if you can support the merch is down in the comments. I designed a lot of gear and stuff like that. So holla. All right, y'all. One love. Boston. Beantown.